All right, polish enthusiasts, want to make that metal polishing interview shine. Buckle up, because today we're doing a deep dive into how to totally nail it.
Yeah, and we've got some killer resources for you. We've got RoleCatcher's Career Guide, some insights into their awesome AI platform, and we're even going to sneak a peek into their stash of real interview questions.
So picture this. You've got that resume looking sharp. You've scoped out the company, but now you're sitting across from those interviewers. What's that first question they're going to throw your way? I'm betting it's something like, tell us about your experience with metal polishing.
It's a total classic, and you know they want to know you've got some hands-on experience. But honestly, don't go embellishing or anything. Just think about how your past experiences, even if they're not directly metal polishing, show off skills that'll transfer over.
So like maybe if you tinkered with model cars when you were a kid.
Right, or if you were the king or queen of detail on your bike. Anything that shows you've got an eye for detail, patience, and that you're good with precision.
So it's not just about listing jobs where you are officially a metal polisher. It's about showing those core skills that make you a good fit, no matter how much experience you've got.
Exactly. Like someone just starting out might talk about their love for metalwork or, maybe classes they took or even personal projects. It's about showing you're enthusiastic and ready to learn. Now, if you've already got some experience under your belt, well, this is your chance to really shine. Think about projects you've worked on, techniques you've mastered, or even challenges you've tackled, Like the career guide even talks about all sorts of equipment, like rotary polishers and belt sanders. Have you used those?
So you're basically painting a picture with your words, really letting them see you in action. Now, I know RoleCatcher's AI can be a total game changer. How can that help someone tailor their answer to a specific job?
Okay, so imagine this. You feed that job description right into RoleCatcher's AI, and it goes to work analyzing all those keywords and skills they're looking for. Then it gives you suggestions on how to rephrase your experience so it hits all those points. It's like having a personal interview coach in your corner helping you nail every answer.
Wow. So we've aced that first impression, but, interviews are rarely a walk in the park, right?
Yeah.
What about those curveball questions, the ones that make you sweat a little?
Oh, yeah, those tricky questions. They often focus on things like problem solving and quality control, and of course, safety, which is huge EE in metal polishing. Let's say they hit you with, how do you ensure quality control in your work?
Oh, yeah, that one could definitely make your palms a bit clammy. How do you answer something like that without sounding like a robot spouting the safety manual?
It's all about showcasing how you approach things, and you know that you're meticulous about your work. The RoleCatcher Guide mentions this technique called light boost inspection, where you use different lights to spot imperfections. Have you ever used that?
That's pretty fascinating. It's like being a detail detective.
Yeah.
What if you haven't actually used that specific technique, though?
No problem. You can talk about other methods you've used, like maybe a checklist system or using magnification tools or even just double-checking your work under different lighting. The point is to show you have a system and you're all about delivering flawless results.
Love it. You're turning a potentially scary question into a chance to show off your commitment to quality.
Exactly. And that's where practicing with RoleCatcher's AI can be a lifesaver. You can run through those tough questions, get feedback, and even tweak your approach based on the company or the specific role.
It's like doing a mock interview with an expert who knows exactly what that employer's looking for.
You got it. Now, another question that often pops up is, how would you handle a challenging project or a tight deadline?
Okay, that one hits close to home. It's not just about metal polishing anymore. It's about showing you can handle the pressure.
Absolutely. And it goes back to those transferable skills we talked about. They want to see how you approach problems, manage your time, and stay cool under stress. The career guide really stresses the importance of troubleshooting. Maybe you had to adapt a technique or fix a piece of equipment or even work with others to come up with a solution. Think of a time you faced a hurdle and how you jumped over it.
That's a great example of how something like fixing a bike chain or even figuring out a tough puzzle can actually be relevant in a metal polishing interview.
Exactly. It's about showing you're resourceful and a good problem solver. Okay, now what if they ask something like, tell us about a time you made a mistake in your work. How did you handle it?
Ooh, that one feels like a trap, doesn't it? Like they're waiting for you to admit to some huge blunder.
It can feel that way, but look, everyone makes mistakes. It's about learning from them and showing you take responsibility. Think of a time you messed up. Maybe you misjudged a polishing compound or a part didn't turn out quite right.
Oh, yeah. Been there. Now, I'm curious, what's the best way to talk about that without making yourself look totally incompetent?
Honesty and humility are key. Briefly explain what happened, but focus on what you learned from it and the steps you took to fix things. Maybe you talked to a more experienced polisher, or researched a new technique, or even redid the whole piece.
So you're turning a negative into a positive, showing that you're not afraid to own up to your mistakes and that you're all about constant improvement.
Precisely. And this is another spot where RoleCatcher's AI can give you some great insights. It can look over your answers and suggest ways to rephrase things so you're hitting that sweet spot between owning the mistake and highlighting your growth.
It's like having a PR team for your past mess-ups. They help you shape the story to show how resilient you are and that you're always learning.
Okay, so we've talked about those tricky questions, but I know safety is a huge deal in metal polishing.
Yeah.
What kind of questions do they usually ask to see how safety conscious you are?
Safety is like the golden rule in this field, and they want to know you get that. A pretty common one is, how do you maintain a safe work environment when using metal polishing equipment? Okay, that one's pretty straightforward, but how do you answer it without just reciting a list of safety rules?
It's about showing you're proactive and you really care about safety, not just checking boxes. Think about specific things you do, like double checking machine guards, making sure there's good ventilation, or even reminding your coworkers about safety stuff.
So you're like a safety champion, not just someone standing on the sidelines.
Exactly. And don't forget, the career guide gives you a ton of info about typical work environments and safety stuff. Make sure you brush up on that section so you know the industry standards and best practices.
It's like having a cheat sheet for safety. You'll be ready to answer those questions confidently and show off what you know.
Right. And remember, RoleCatcher can help you tailor your answers to the specific company's safety rules. It's all about showing them you're not just knowledgeable, but that you're on the same page with their safety culture.
Like having a personal safety consultant. They help you navigate those tricky questions with confidence and precision. We've been laser focused on all the technical skills and safety, but there's another big piece to acing that interview, showing off those all-important soft skills.
You're absolutely right. And you know what? We're going to dive into all that in the next part of our deep dive. We'll explore how to let your personality shine and show off those essential interpersonal skills. Stick around. All right, welcome back to our deep dive into crushing that metal polishing interview. We've covered the technical stuff, but now it's time to shift gears and talk about those super important soft skills.
Right, because in the end, you're not just a bunch of skills and a safety manual.
Yeah.
You're a person who's going to be part of a team. You'll be working with colleagues, supervisors, maybe even clients.
Exactly. And interviewers, they're looking for someone who's not just good at the job, but also a good fit for their company culture. Someone who's a team player, a good communicator, and someone who can handle, those inevitable people problems that come up in any workplace.
So how do you show off those soft skills without sounding like you're just spouting buzzwords from a self-help book?
It's all about weaving them into your answers naturally, using real examples from your own experiences. Like, let's say they ask you something like, tell us about a time you had to work as part of a team to achieve a goal.
Okay, that's a classic one, and it's a perfect chance to highlight how much of a team player you are. But I bet most people just go blank when they get hit with a question like that.
It's totally normal to feel a little flustered. But think back to your past experiences, even stuff outside of work. Maybe you were on a sports team or a volunteer group, or even just a study group where you had to work with others to get something done.
So it doesn't have to be just work experience. It could be like organizing a fundraiser or coordinating group project or even just helping a friend move.
Exactly. The key is to describe the situation, your role on the team, the challenges you faced, and how you helped the team succeed. Focus on those actions and behaviors that show teamwork, communication, and problem solving. Did you delegate tasks well? Did you actually listen to your teammates' ideas? Did you step up to resolve conflicts?
It's about painting a picture of yourself as someone who adds value to the team, someone who makes the group dynamic better.
Right, and don't forget, RoleCatcher can help you fine-tune those answers, making sure you're highlighting the soft skills that really matter in that specific industry or company.
It's like having a personal coach who knows the playbook for that particular team. Now, what about communication skills? How do you showcase those in a way that goes beyond just saying, I'm a good communicator?
Again, it's all about using specific examples. Think about a time when you had to communicate really well. Maybe you had to explain something complicated to someone, or clear up a misunderstanding, or even convince people to see things your way.
So it could be anything from teaching a friend a new skill to negotiating a compromise in a group project.
You got it. And actually, the RoleCatcher Career Guide talks about how important communication is in a metal polishing work environment. It mentions how you need to talk to colleagues, supervisors, and maybe even clients, given clear instructions, explaining processes, and addressing concerns.
So it's not just about being chatty or outgoing. It's about being clear, concise, and professional in how you communicate.
Exactly. And remember, it's not just about talking, it's also about listening actively. Nonverbal cues and written communication, too.
Right. So maybe you could talk about a time when you had to write a detailed report or a persuasive email, or even just really listen to a coworker's concerns and respond thoughtfully.
You got it. And remember, these soft skills, they're often all connected, you know? Teamwork often involves good communication, problem solving involves both, and so on. It's about showing how these skills work together to make you a well-rounded and valuable employee.
Okay, now another question that comes up a lot is, how do you handle stress or pressure? This one's kind of tricky, because nobody wants to admit to falling apart under pressure.
It's a tough one for sure. You want to be honest, but also show that you can handle stress like a champ. Think about a time when you were in a really demanding situation, maybe a crazy deadline or a complicated problem, or even just something stressful in your personal life that affected your work.
Okay, I think everyone's been there feeling the heat. But how do you turn that experience into a positive answer in an interview?
The trick is to focus on how you cope and how you stay focused and productive, even when things are getting crazy. Maybe you prioritize tasks, break down big projects into smaller chunks, or even use relaxation techniques to manage stress.
So you're showing that you're resilient and you can handle tough situations without losing your cool.
Exactly. And the career guide actually mentions how important it is to stay calm and focused, especially when you're working with potentially dangerous materials and equipment.
So it's not just about managing your own stress, it's about creating a safe and productive environment for everyone.
Right. And remember, RoleCatcher can help you tailor your answers to fit the specific company culture. Some companies might be more laid back, while others might want things super structured and disciplined.
It's about reading the room, understanding their expectations, and showing how your approach to stress aligns with their values.
Now, another important soft skill is adaptability. The metal polishing industry is always changing with new technologies, materials, and techniques. How do you show interviewers that you're ready and willing to embrace change?
That's a great question. Because in today's world, if you're not learning and growing, you're falling behind.
Exactly. And interviewers want to see that you're a lifelong learner, someone who's curious, adaptable, and eager to expand their skill set. Think about a time when you had to learn something new. Maybe a new software program or a different technique or even just a new way of approaching a problem.
It could be anything from learning a new recipe to figuring out how to fix a leaky faucet.
The key is to highlight your willingness to step outside your comfort zone, embrace new challenges, and constantly improve your skills.
And you know what? The career guide actually emphasizes this point. It talks about the importance of staying up to date on industry trends and looking for opportunities for professional development.
Absolutely. And this is where RoleCatcher's AI can really shine. By analyzing your profile and the job description, it can suggest relevant courses, certifications, or even industry events that can help you stay ahead of the game.
It's like having a personal career counselor who's always looking for ways to help you grow and evolve.
Now, let's talk about one final soft skill that often gets overlooked, but it's super important: enthusiasm. How do you show genuine passion for metal polishing without sounding cheesy or fake?
That's a good one because enthusiasm can be contagious, but it can also backfire if it doesn't sound genuine.
The secret is to let your passion shine through naturally. Talk about what you find most rewarding about metal polishing. Maybe it's the transformation process or the satisfaction of creating a perfect finish or the pride you take in your work.
So it's about connecting with the interviewer on a deeper level, sharing your personal connection to the craft, and letting your enthusiasm flow from that.
You got it. And remember, this is another area where RoleCatcher can help you polish those answers, making sure you're hitting that sweet spot between professional and genuine.
So we've covered a lot, from teamwork and communication to stress management, adaptability, and enthusiasm.
These soft skills are the secret sauce that can take a good interview and make it amazing. They help you connect with the interviewer, showcase your personality, and show that you're not just skilled, but also a valuable addition to their team.
And in the final part of our deep dive, we'll explore how to bring all this together, creating a killer interview strategy that leaves a lasting impression and helps you land that dream metal polishing job. Stay tuned. Welcome back for the final polish of our metal polishing interview deep dive. We've hit the technical skills, the safety stuff, and all those important soft skills. Now let's tie it all together and talk about how to really wow them and land that job.
It's like we've given you all the pieces, and now it's time to build that masterpiece of an interview.
Right. So you've prepped with RoleCatcher, practiced your answers, and you're feeling good about your skills. But there's still that little voice saying, how do you stand out? How do you show them you're not just qualified, but that you're really passionate about metal polishing?
That's where the power of storytelling comes in. We've talked about it before, but it's super important. Interviewers, they're human, and humans love stories. So instead of just listing off your skills, think about how you can turn them into a story that shows your passion and your drive.
So go beyond the resume bullet points and bring those experiences to life.
Exactly. Let's say they ask about your career goals. Instead of just saying, I want to be a master polisher, think about what got you into this field. What sparked that interest? Was it a childhood obsession with shiny things? A mentor who showed you the ropes? A project that really got you fired up?
It's about giving them a peek into who you are, what makes you tick.
Right. And you can weave those stories into almost any answer. When they ask about teamwork, talk about a project where you all collaborated and achieved something amazing. When they ask about problem solving, tell them about a time you faced a challenge and found a creative way around it.
It's about making your answers stick with them long after the interview's over.
You got it. And don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI can help you polish those stories. Make sure they're concise, impactful, and tailored for that job and company.
Like having a personal editor for your interview script.
Now, besides storytelling, there are a few more key things for that final polish. One's enthusiasm. We've talked about it, but it's worth repeating. Genuine passion is contagious, and it can make a huge difference.
How do you show enthusiasm without going overboard or sounding fake?
It's about finding that balance. You want to be professional, but also personable. Smile, make eye contact, and let your passion for the craft come through in your voice and body language. When you're talking about a project you're proud of, let that excitement show. When you're talking about a challenge you beat, let them see your determination.
Let your authentic self shine through while still keeping it professional.
Right. And remember, preparation is key to confidence. When you know your stuff, when you've practiced your answers and you've researched the company, that confidence just shines through.
Practice makes perfect, as they say. Or in this case, practice makes polished.
Exactly. And that brings us to the final touch, asking good questions. Remember, an interview is a two-way street. It's not just them checking you out, it's about you checking them out too.
So it's not just about answer their questions. It's about showing you're curious and engaged and genuinely interested in the company and the role.
Exactly. Asking thoughtful questions shows that you've done your homework, you're thinking critically, and that you're eager to learn more.
What are some good questions to have up your sleeve?
Well, it depends on the company and the role, but here are a few to get you started. What are the company's goals for the next year? What are the biggest challenges facing the metal polishing industry right now? What opportunities for professional development does the company offer?
Those are great examples. They show you're thinking beyond just getting the job. You're considering your long-term growth with the company.
Right. And don't forget, RoleCatcher can help you tailor those questions based on the company's profile and industry trends. It's about showing that you're informed, engaged, and you're serious about finding the right fit.
It's like having a personal research assistant, helping you craft questions that make you stand out as a thoughtful candidate.
So to sum it all up, acing that metal polishing interview is more than just knowing the technical stuff and safety rules. It's about showcasing those soft skills, telling your story, showing enthusiasm, and asking great questions.
It's about presenting the best version of yourself, one that shows your passion, your skills, and what makes you valuable to the company.
And with the right preparation, the right resources, and a whole lot of heart, you can walk into that interview feeling confident, ready to shine, and ready to land that dream job.
You've got the knowledge, the skills, and the passion. Now go out there and make those metal pieces and your career gleam.